Just when you think you can't facepalm any harder, right? I'm going to go ahead and read this article real quick before I state my opinion. This article comes from Owen Good of Polygon. Earlier this month, organizers of the upcoming 2024 Olympics in Paris indicated that esports may be a part of their games, but the president of the International Olympic Committee says not so fast. And if it does happen, IOC President Thomas Bach, this guy, says it may not involve esports' most popular games. In an interview with the South China Morning Post, Bach went on to express some views of video games that sound like they came from 1994. Shocking. We want to promote non-discrimination, non-violence, and peace among people, he told the Morning Post. This doesn't match with video games, which are about violence, explosions, and killing, and there we have to draw a clear line. If he's going to be a non-violence purist, yeah, then definitely this means no Counter-Strike or Overwatch, or probably means no Dota 2 or League of Legends. What would be acceptable? Esports resembling sports that are played in real life, such as soccer or basketball. And he says exactly what I'm going to say at the end of this episode here. If that's so, then I can tell you what will happen right now for esports Olympic debut. Nobody will watch. Not in the numbers that make having them along as a medal sport worthwhile. So, here's the picture of this guy, Bach, alright? Again, he looks like he was, 1994, like the article says. And at this point, can you even imagine, these games, these esports games, they need to be something people watches, and in order to actually get anybody to be drawn in, you have to play games that people want to watch. And again, many YouTubers have said this before, if it's such a big deal, why are you trying to be the parents? If you don't want your kids to watch these terrible video games, if you're that way, then don't let them. What's the point of not showing this? If somebody doesn't want to watch the video games of the Olympics, then why watch it? They won't watch it if they don't want to. The reason you'd include it is not only just for publicity, to be honest with you. I mean, I guess video games still have that negative stigma that they're just for kids, but it would be a huge stride in helping that stigma go away, that video games are only for kids, if you put it in the Olympics, and they see that there's not just 12-year-olds there. In fact, I don't even think they'll let 12-year-olds in there. So, it would be such a good move for video games to be part of the Olympics. But, could you imagine putting in, a football game? A football video game into esports, into the Olympics, where there's already football, real football being played. Now, I'm not saying that esports having these sports games is bad, but having them in the Olympics, where the point is physical sports like football and basketball and soccer, it doesn't make sense. No one would watch that. What you need to put in there is games that people want to watch, like I said now. And you know what? At first, when I saw this article, I was actually genuinely surprised that they were even going to consider video games in Olympics at all, to be honest with you. I just didn't really see it, because that is where, all of the elite people who have been training their whole lives go. But then I kind of eased up on it, because I'm like, it would be so good for the image of video games if they did go into there. And honestly, I think video games being in the Olympics is going to be much more a good thing than it will bad. It may be weird at first, seeing, your favorite game being played in the Olympics, but that's something we're all going to have to get used to, because times are a-changing, for better and for worse. So, hopefully, this gets changed, though the head of the Olympics at this point, this guy again, just doesn't look very promising. So, also a quick note, you know what's gonna happen. When no one watches this, they're gonna be like, oh my god, this clearly wasn't profitable, video games aren't what people want to see, because all they think about is numbers and money and views, they don't really care about anything else. They're gonna see, oh, it didn't do well, so clearly we shouldn't incorporate it next year. It's not because we didn't include the content that people wanted to see, we just included what we thought people wanted to see. So, that's going to happen, you know it. Well, this has been Tremidine, and I will see you guys later.